Hey guys, it's Terry from theworshipleaderblog.com, and today we'll be talking about what to do when people aren't worshiping. Ever been here before? On the platform, giving it your all, and you open your eyes. Wait, did I forget something? Is there something in my teeth? Then why is everyone staring? There's one thing we need to understand, and when we do, it makes our jobs as worship leaders a little easier. Everyone is not going to worship, and it's not our job to make them. What we need to focus on is creating an environment that is compelling for people to worship. So, what compels people to worship? I'm blessed to be a part of a church with a really dynamic music ministry. And over the years, I've had many opportunities to lead worship in many different environments and many different cultures. And one thing that stood true through every culture, even when leading among people who didn't speak the same language as I did, not everyone worshiped. Now, there are a few layers to being compelling as a worship leader. I'll be discussing the major two here today. The number one way to be compelling as a worship leader is not even through us or what we're capable of. It's through us being full of His Spirit. Let's face it, the Spirit of God knows things that we do not, and it can see things that we cannot. When we are full of His Spirit and act on the impulses that He gives us, we are doing a lot more than what we are aware of. His Spirit may be impressing a prayer for us to pray or a word of encouragement to give. Now to us, it may seem simple, not a big deal, but it goes way beyond surface level with people God may be wanting you and I to minister to. People are compelled to worship by the Spirit of God that we connect with in our everyday lives. It draws them in to worship Him. And us, we're just the instruments in His hand. So let's make sure we prepare our hearts and our minds to be used by Him. Okay, the second part of being a compelling worship leader is not as easy as the first part. It has less to do with us connecting with God and more to do with the way people perceive us while we're up there worshiping. On one hand, you have the Spirit of God and how it compels people to worship. On the other hand, you have a person up there singing songs to other people. Now, I'm oversimplifying this to make a point. A very real factor in leading worship is the human factor. In order to get the most effectiveness out of our worship leading, we should work on both our spiritual lives and our human ability to be compelling as a worship leader. One thing we should realize, in a church with a dozen people or a church with thousands, there will be multiple people with different personalities and different beliefs on worship. Now, it's not a good idea to dwell on this notion, but I think it's unwise to ignore it altogether. People with different personalities respond differently to a given method of leading worship. That is why we should be dynamic in our worship leading and cast a broad net. The truth of the matter is, some people just respond better when given directions. If things feel a little dead during a worship set, find a way to challenge and encourage the congregation verbally. One of the things I've done in a worship service that seems a little dry is lead in with a prayer and then give direction on what needs to happen for the next song. Kind of like a traffic director that points everyone in the direction of worshiping God. Now, prayer gets everyone's minds collected and thinking on God. If you're wondering what to say, I have a video that speaks on just that. It gives ideas and questions to ask yourself so that you'll know what's appropriate to say in the moment. I'll link that video in the description. So, after I finish leading prayer or saying a word, I tell everyone to get something in their mind that God has done for them recently, and during this next song, we're all going to thank and praise Him for it. Go as far as telling them to lift their hands or sing along or pray out loud. Some people will only do this if prompted to, and not everyone will. But for the people that this type of compelling will reach, it will help them go from bystanders in worship to participants. Over at theworshipleaderblog.com, you can download a free ebook, 2 Steps to More Effective Worship Leading. It's an ebook that goes more in depth on these 2 topics I discussed today. So head on over and check it out. Also, on this channel, there will be a new topic each week. So don't hesitate to leave your comments and questions below. Looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning in. That's it. Signing off.